Seems like my stream is a little bit laggy, so let me know. Yum yum. For some reason, I updated my streaming software. It says the streaming health is not that good. My connection is not that good. So we're gonna see if it's laggy and stuff for you guys. That's weird. It's not maintaining enough health, whatever that means. But you guys can hear me, I guess. You guys can hear me. All right, let's get started. Let me know if the stream is lagging and stuff. Another day. It's Friday, guys. Happy Friday. For those, oof. How could this be the bread now? This is incredible. Streaming health is like my liquidation health. That's precisely what it is. Looks like our market's, oof, this is crazy. Hello, Tiago. I slept last night with the market, the Nasdaq future going up like 1% last night because of crazy earnings from Amazon, Snapchat, Pinterest. But now it's turning red. This is incredible. This market is so fragile. It's so bipolar. It's worse than, well, the girls that I've dated. They could be so happy one day and then turning into a total witch the next day. This is what the market is. It's so fragile based on any news. Even good news could not keep it up. Kind of remind me of sexy time. I try so hard to keep it up, but it just doesn't want to go up. So that's not so good. Oh yeah, because there's like a new job report or something that came out. Oh man, why can't we have good things? This is why we can't have good things. Stock futures fall after job report, tech sell-off. This is nuts. I'm like, how many months do I need to be down now? This is, sorry, we have to go into stocks a little bit because it's kind of correlated to the market in general. We need to look at stocks because it affects crypto as well. So when the money doesn't want to be invested, they're gonna pull out. And when they pull out, where are they gonna go? They're not gonna put in crypto because crypto is more volatile. So yeah, this Nasdaq, man, absolutely nuts. I mean, we had a crazy drop in October, went back up, and then since Thanksgiving, since November right here, what did I say about the candles? When the candles don't want to perform, and when you have no buying pressure, it's just gonna continue to go up. So we went sideways a little bit, and then just dropped since like the first day of the year. This is like the worst start of January in history of the market. So it's terrible. It's terrible. So yeah, continues to fall because of this job report. It's man, job report is down because the expectation was so high. But the good news is Amazon kind of went up a bit. Wow, only 12% now. It was up like 15%. But it was down like 7% the day before, right? The aftermarket, they put their earnings. Amazon's back to 3,100. Nasty, nasty charts. Snapchat, it was up over 50% after market. It's now up 43%. So talk about volatility. Snapchat was getting destroyed the whole year, but now it's coming back up a little bit, but that's not really that good. So another day, another terrible market. But you know what the good news is? Surprisingly, the good news is WMemo. If you look at my charts, I haven't changed it. This was my chart. So we're up 17.56% in the past 24 hours. Did anything new happen? Did any new development came out? I don't think so. It was still the same market, was still the same sentiment. I don't see any news. So it's trending along the neckline of my dinosaur. So hopefully this little guy here is gonna have a longer neck, and then we'll probably, I want to go up to 40k. If we can go to 40k, I'll be happy. I can sell at 40k. I mean, I'm still in it, guys. I'm still in it. As terrible as it sounds, I know most of you are probably also in it, but I'm just trying to get a nice exit liquidity. I'm trying to get a nice exit point so I can be completely out of it. But right now it seems like it's like a low volume. So let's see, 24 hours, only $8.2 million in volume. So it's very low volume. So don't let this price action fool you into thinking that, oh, we're turning around. Oh, is it going to go back up? $8.2 million is a very low volume. So any whale could come in and just buy and sell 8.2 million worth of WMemo and just draw. They could draw the chart pretty much. If they want to draw this dinosaur pattern, they can, if they got the money. So it's very easy to manipulate the price of WMemo right now because of low liquidity, low volume. So do not, whoa, there's like a $247,000. It's a very easy thing to do. So keep that in mind. Whenever you have something, whenever you trade something, let's say this new coin called Shitcoin 1, you gotta look at its volume. If there's so little volume, you gotta be careful, because low volume equals easy to manipulate. When you have something with high volume, high liquidity, then it's harder, much harder to manipulate. So if somebody bought this for $247,000. It's funny, we look at $247,000 and thinking that this is gonna be a big order. But if you were in my streams before, we saw $1 million orders, we saw $800,000 orders, things like that. It was quite spectacular. It was nice to look at. But now we look at $247,000 like it's a big one. So how do I even look at it? Damn it, I gotta connect my wallet. Anyway, who knows who this guy is, but there's like a $300,000 sell right after this. It's just whale scalping. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that our coin, what could have been, is being used as a scalping tool, even though it was before, but we were all, I mean, some of us are still holding. Looking back at it, we didn't, like, I kind of, so here's the perspective. I'm arguing, I am not supporting Sifu or Nanny. I'm just arguing from the standpoint of us as investors. Just a few weeks ago, well, when we were in this, sure, the price was dropping for sure. That's because the conspiracy theory is that the whales knew who Sifu was and they just started dumping. So it went from 47k all the way to 22. That's a huge drop. Now, if you scroll down, that's a small drop compared to what's happening. So basically, this coin is an inflationary coin. Every time we rebase, the value goes down. So rebase doesn't really matter. The price, it's gonna go down regardless. But it seems like the whales knew something well beforehand, right around here, maybe around here. And they just started selling a ton of WMemos. Is it manipulation? Maybe, because they know news that we don't. Wonderland doesn't have to disclose all the news before the investors because there's no SEC to enforce that like the traditional markets. So Danny, again, same deal. Like if Danny was to do what he did doing the in the stock market, Danny would be in jail because he knew who Sifu was and he didn't tell the investors. And he still let the investors believe in the project and continue to buy in. Even though a news like that, when it breaks out, it's gonna drop the coin. And that's precisely what happened. So thinking back at it, let's put Sifu's past outside of the equation. I'm not saying we forgive the guy. Let's think about this project from the perspective of not looking at Sifu's past. Let's say he's just a regular Anon who's managing our treasury, which is exactly what happened at that point in time. He was really, really active in the Discord. He answered questions for you guys every single night. He tried to explain the difference between Memo, WMemo, and all that stuff. He invested the money in startups like BetSwap, which is kind of sketchy. I don't know, not sketchy, but apparently we grew the fund to $1.3 billion on the Sifu. Now, a lot of that was leverage. For those of you who don't know, it is leverage. So they are not really 1.3 billion, but more like $800 million. The guy did a pretty good job. The guy knows what he's doing. The guy knows how to grow the money. I mean, he knows what he's doing. That's why he was picked as a treasury manager. So the project was actually going well. We were doing quite well. You know, it was just this news that dragged it down. What changed since that? What really changed? Well, the only thing changed is the sentiment, is the confidence in the owners of this project. You have Sifu, who's like a criminal past, and then you have Danny, whose people lost trust in him. But the fundamentals, the project itself, Wonderland itself, it does have room for improvement, but it didn't really change much. But does that justify the price going half or more than half since then? Maybe. Maybe. We will talk about the professor's proposal for sure. I did read it. It was quite well. I am a fan of that. Again, I don't know who the professor is. Maybe you guys know. But we will talk about it. I'm just trying to think. Like, I think like there are phases of grief. This is similar to like there are phases of grief, right? Where you lost someone, you lost money. First comes the anger. You're very angry, and we all been through that phase for the past few days. We were all angry at the founder. We're all angry at Danny for keeping a secret. We're all angry at the whales, knowing that information and manipulating the price. Investment going on. We're all angry. We were all angry. I was angry on stream for so many times. Now, that was the anger phase. Now, after that, what I don't know the full phase of grief, but phases of grief. This is like a well-known thing. I think we are all, yeah, that's the grief cycle. Yeah, so okay, that's where we are. We were in denial, right? We're like, damn, this can't be true. How could Sifu be Omar from Quadriga? Like, no one saw this coming. And the chart kind of might reflect that. I wish the chart could reflect that, right? That's where we are. We're in denial. And then came the anger. We were angry at Danny. We called some names on Danny. We made some memes. We were depressed for a bit. It's like, damn, we're never gonna get our money back. This project's dead. We spent so much time on this. It's not gonna ever come back. That's the depression phase. And then the bargaining phase. It's like, okay, Danny, we want to continue on the projects. So let's talk. And some of us want to ragequit, like the whales or somebody. It's like, oh, we screw it, just give us some money back and let me move on. So that's the bargaining phase. And now where we are is probably the acceptance phase. We have accepted that we lost 90%. We have accepted that this money is not going to come back. This is now we have accepted that this project can or cannot go on based on the proposal. We have some few people stepping up. So I think we are at the acceptance phase. Well, we could still be in bargaining / acceptance phase, maybe the beginning of the acceptance phase. It's time to move on. It's time to figure out what to do. Try to solve the problem rather than complaining about it. That's my mantra in life. So I just noticed the picture on the right side. It says the road you expected, and then on the right side it says the road you got. That's kind of accurate. As long as it's still going up, I mean, that's kind of accurate. So those are the stages of grief. It applies to most people. It applies to most situations. Don't look at the one on the right, it's trolling you. But the one on the left is kind of true. So we are at the phase of acceptance. Bargaining and acceptance. So the price, I think, will hit zero? Probably. But we have intrinsic value. We have value in the treasury that tells us this is worth at least X amount. So I don't think it'll hit zero. But it's really important we look at the future development of this to see the possible price point. Maybe I need to extend the neck of the dinosaur to make it go up. So anyway, we got some good news on Twitter. This is what I saw. So we all know that Harry Ye is trying to get involved in this. And he's someone who's pretty reputable again. Let's see, Harry Ye. I think you guys, so many imposters in here. I'm like, which one's Harry Ye? All right, this one. So he's the look at the way he walks, guys. Look at the way he walks. He's walking around like he's got a giant stick in his pants. I said stick, YouTube. Stick, like the magic stick. He looks so confident. He talks confident. You know, talking to people. That's the guy. Who's behind Phantom? Who's behind Tomb? He's walking around. He's like, yo, bro, where's my money at? Yo, bro, how much? Yeah, you got the money? Yeah, all right, good. That's going. We're gonna keep making money. Anyway, this is the guy who's. We've been talking about people want him to be involved in Wonderland. Apparently he rescued Tomb Finance, he rescued, what's that other thing? Phantom, that project, with his own money. He's a billionaire. Made a ton of money in TriFi, and he managed over $2.4 billion. Definitely have experience managing funds. So for Wonderland's pretty big. It went up to 1.3 billion at the height. So it's a big amount to manage, and people do want him to be part of it. So on Twitter, he's been talking to Seafood. Well, not Seafood, but this guy. So this guy on Twitter, just some random dude, he's like, we want to propose to have Harry Ye in this. Also, again, it's also in the professor's proposal to bring Harry into this project to rescue us. At this point in time, I think he's a good candidate to do it. Now, is he a snake? Can he be a snake? Of course he can. What did I say about simping for people like that? Do not simp for them. Always question them. What is their motive? What do they want out of this, right? Of course, at the minimum, they want to make money. And two is they probably want to be famous. So I don't know the guy personally, but I always approach anyone like that, always with skepticism. You should not blindly follow people like that. So always look into it, look in his past. A lot of people are accusing him of siphoning money out of Tomb. So of course there are controversies. Like you always want to look at both sides, right? You don't want to just blindly say, oh, he's awesome because somebody said he's awesome. You need to look into it. So that's how you want people managing money. You want to criticize the person to the point where you know exactly what he's gonna do, so it's not surprising, like Seafood. So yeah, so what's happened on Twitter was that, oh man, okay, here. So this guy was like, we want Harry, and then Harry's like, offer is on the table to have a discussion and have a look at the project. Time, but of course these things take time. We'll provide updates if there are any. So this is what Harry said. I think that's the real Harry. Harry Ye. Yeah, I think that's the real Harry. And he has the avalanche symbol here. So well, he has the Tomb, Phantom and Avalanche. So he's a big fan of Phantom and Avalanche. And these two projects naturally are two of the biggest projects on each chain, respectively. So it makes sense for him to want to get involved in time. So he's definitely up for it. And then let's take Sifu's. You know, I don't care if you like Sifu or not, but Sifu responded, "Amazing idea. I can't think of any better suited to take over my work. But I don't know what this smiley face is about." Was he being sarcastic or was he serious? So Sifu, at least, I don't know. Take out this smiley face. I think Sifu might be serious about having Harry take over. Again, based on what I read on the Discord, is that Sifu is he's invested a lot of his time. Wonderland is his baby, he said many times. And he's not, I don't think, I mean, if he was going to rug pull, it would have easily done it already, but he didn't at all. He actually sent back $70 million to the treasury, $70 million from his own wallet. And now he's just sending his money to Tornado, try to disappear, try to be anonymous again. So, but he's very active on Twitter. So he's for Harry. That's the thing. Yeah, Sifu's a class A troll. He trolls so much. I'm surprised. He's like my level of trolling on Twitter. So, yeah. But anyway, that's what people want to do. Now, the big thing is Professor. Everyone's talking about the Professor. Everyone's talking about I don't even know who the Professor is. I don't. But apparently the Professor, actually, who is this guy? You always want to know who this is. This is some random dude. Oh, well, okay. Let's not judge the person yet. We want to hear what they have to say about Professor. Now, this is a specific article about rage quitting in Wonderland. So this is like he's proposing a fair option to rage quit the project for both sides. Who are the both sides? The whales and the frogs. I think most of us should be frogs over here. We are not. I don't think any of us are whales. If you're a whale, please DM me. I need some college funds. Now, he's proposing. So we're going to go into it. It's, I wish there's a TLDR. Is there? Let's just go to TLDR. I don't want to read this whole thing. That's a typical frog behavior. It's like, damn, too long did he... I didn't read too long. I'm just going to put my money in. Okay, we're going to read. You guys want to read? I will read. This is a rage quit position. Hello, Wonderland family. I am catching up with some of the events in the last few days and would like to thank those that provided support, comment, and suggestion to my last article. Now, his last article is about actually fixing Wonderland, which is great. I'll go over that in a separate, like, bite-sized video. I like it. I like it a lot. That proposal video, you can see it is right here. This was a good article. Oh, the market's open. Let's take a look. Whoa, look at looks like the Qs have just turned green all of a sudden. Let's see Snapchat. We'll go into it, don't worry. But let me just look at the market because the market just opened. Okay. What is test? Is Facebook still dying? Yeah, Facebook's still dying. Facebook just, look at this. This is worse than the Wonderland drop. Terrible. Facebook getting destroyed. Amazon only up 9% now. Only. Not that good. How about Snapchat? 42%. I have my bags on Snapchat at like 40s, so I still down. It's terrible how this market sucks, guys. This market sucks. I just want to go back to the stunk only go up market. But okay. All right, let's go back. I'll try and read your comment. Oh, hold on. Let me see. What are you guys saying? Sifu is being sarcastic? Sifu is being sarcastic, making a play on words with suits. Oh, man. So was Sifu sarcastic? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Alright, sorry. Let's go back here. I initially wrote the article with the view to help the community understand the untapped potential of Wonderland. Throughout my lens, having such experience with PE turning arena. So okay, so Professor, I remember now. and what was possible adjustment. So professor supposedly is somebody who's very experienced with turning companies around. That's what they've been doing their whole lives, and that's what they are coming here with the wealth of experience doing that. So he actually identified some very good things about Wonderland and how they can turn it around. Actually, personally, I think whoever take over should definitely read into the professor's suggestions and look at it seriously, because I think that's the only way, that's one of the ways to turn this project around for us to go up. So I'll post those articles in the chat so you guys can read it on your own time. So I still truly believe that this will be one of the biggest thing in DeFi moving forward. So he still believe in the project. I personally I still believe in the project. We did well raising the fund. We did well using the fund to grow the treasury. We did well. Sifu aside, his past aside, the project was doing well. It was just getting attacked. It was just getting manipulated by whales. And this is why we can't have good things. Now let's go. However, we have come to a critical juncture. We are currently in a place that is akin to purgatory, treading waters from what seems to be perpetuity. Sifu has gone, and with him much of the operational work ethic. Elbow greased the king with it, which now needs to be replaced. Sure, he identified Sifu's gone, and we need somebody who can do the stuff what Sifu did. My last article was intended to give an overview of some of the actions I would take on Wonderland, but it's important to note that these cannot be all done overnight. We need to prioritize each according to its importance, and the rage quit option is top of the agenda. Before we decide on management, APY revenue share, and other fundamentals, the next vote needs to be for a rage quit proposal. We need to stand together moving forward, and this is dividing us. And that is very true. That is very true, because half the community wants to rage quit, but they want to rage quit in a way that's fairly paid out to the users. The whales want to rage quit for sure. So, but then there are people out there saying, oh, how do you determine how to pay people? The whales can just come in on the last minute, buy it all up, and then they get larger share of the treasury, right? These are like exploits that you need to think about for the whales to not win. Because whales with their wealth, they will figure out a way to unfairly take your treasury money. That is the problem. So before going into my reasoning for allowing the rage quit option, I would like to spend some time discussing what the team has achieved so far. They have been incredibly successful in both yield farming perspective and investment. It's easy to forget that among all the FUD, but there are some highlights to remember. Okay, so let's talk about all the wins from Wonderland. Again, I am not professor. Just to make it clear, I am not professor, but the professor seems to know a lot about this project, which is great. You want someone who knows about it. So let's talk about some of the projects that Wonderland actually did well. BetSwap. Many people didn't realize that DAO's first investment has already netted a 500% return investment within 1 month time frame. The DAO invested 18 million for a total of 2.96 billion BSGG token when airdrop at an average price of this though. Today the average mainnet is about trading at this. So that's actually a 500% return. There are DAOs holding a 90 million position on its books. This is close to 500% return in 1 month on this investment. So what about the betting platform being active? To all the thoughts out there, what do you say to that, Adam? So yeah, we don't know when BetSwap's going to go live. We don't even know if the project's going to deliver, but it's a very early stage investment. And most early stage investments are very dangerous. They're high risk, high reward. In our case, the token went up 500%, but is it sustainable? Is it real volume? We do see the BSGG is currently up to like 4 cents, 4.6 cents. So we are up 50%. 500% on our investment. But again, there's so little volume. Like, who's actually trading BSGG? Where can you actually trade BSGG, right? Like, who's actually trading it? If you look at the volume, 24 hours, there's only $25,000 in volume. So what did I say before about volumes? When you get low volumes, it's very easy to manipulate the price. Hell, if you got money, if you got $25,000, you can manipulate BSGG. I just don't know who is behind, like, who's trading this. Where can you actually trade this, right? So it's very easy to manipulate. Look at this. That was definitely manipulated to go all the way up, and now it just dumps on everyone. It's terrible. So there I have to call out when you're talking about BetSwap. While identifying VC investments, the team also made critical crucial calls regarding to yield farming that has only served to enhance the treasury. Recent discussions switching time, AVAX pair to time matching internet money, and WMemo MIM has helped secure profits, as well as continue to keep liquidity for the time WMemo pair high. Additionally, they received first preference on the UST MIM leveraged stable fund, Degen box. 150 million was deployed to earn close to 120% APY with no directional risk. This is unwounded right now. According to that, they managed to lock voting power for their CVX purchase, the Curve Wars, at more than double the APR that everyone else will be receiving. With 57 million in buying pressure coming from the next few weeks, given the three governors' proposal of Frax and Paraswap, does this sound like a good investment to you? And who could forget the tiny AVAX OTC swap made it out of Mela on the eve of the early December crash, which saved the Dow $10 million. So these are all great points that Sifu and his team did. They actually used the money correctly and they timed things correctly. This is a sneak peek behind the scenes of how a whale invests. Compared to us frogs, the whales with their money have opportunities that the frogs cannot get, and that's how they were able to lock into these great deals, how they were able to bribe the Curve War, how they were able to get into all these Degen boxes like with 120% APY. So the return on the treasury was great. I gotta say, Sifu and his team did a great job. And Sifu also mentioned, I can't verify it, but he grew his wallet from like $5 million to $50 million in like a couple of years. And the money that he's taken out to Tornado Catch is all his own money. So the dude made 50 million from 5 million. And he actually transferred 70 million back to treasury. So I'm trying to look at this after what did I say about stages of grief. We're now a lot calmer, right? We're not as angry as before when we found out the news. It's important for us to look at this now and look back at what exactly happened, and try to come up with a solution. And I like Professor in that way, that he's looking back, look at what we did well. This is the stuff like you gotta have a lot of knowledge in DeFi and yield farming to do. You gotta have a lot of money to do. And Sifu and the fund managers are using that to advantage to give us these kind of returns. That's how we were able to make $1 million a day from the treasury. Yet people still want to believe that because of the few setbacks that Wonderland will never recover to its previous heights. I am hardwired to look at the performance only and seeing that the team has been able to do with their farming and investment returns. One should look at this as one of the best buying opportunities currently offered in DeFi. So the professor is very bullish on this project, and could that be the reason why we are going up a bit, because of articles like that being bullish? We are up like 18% in the past 21 months. Professor is Sifu. Could Professor be Sifu? Maybe. It's possible. Like Sifu. Although I doubt it, but again, this is an anonymous person on the internet talking about this. But I kind of know what he's talking about, though. He knows what he's talking about. And I can see that only people like Sifu would this is very well written. Now, again, he's arguing that we still have the best DAO in DeFi. We had it. We still do. We're just not using the fund right now because we're missing a treasury manager. Once we find someone, if they do something similar like that, I'll be happy if they know how to do all the things like that. Now, people want to rage quit. They don't want a new treasury manager. They just want to get their money back and move on and take your 90% loss. Now, let's move into rage quit proposal, which seems to be a hot topic within the community. Everyone seems to have their own view based on their own personal circumstances. Below, I will outline the rationale for the opinion in my last article as to why we should allow a rage quit solution to those who want it. But before I go there, let me ask you, what is a protocol whose word means nothing? Will it ever succeed in the long run? In my view, it won't. That's right. Like, as soon as Danny walked back on the vote thingy, everyone got mad. They just went like, screw you, Danny. We wanted to continue, but you wanted to quit. So you got to keep your word if you're DAO. Your reputation is very important. So investors who invested in Wonderland were told that Wonderland team that the backing price will always be defended until the DAO decide in the future that this will no longer be the way forward. Exhibit A. Okay? Whether you believe in buyback or not, it's irrelevant. This was the word of the Wonderland team, which formed a basis of people's investment decisions. Even after Sifu left, this would have been executed until a vote was complete to say otherwise. Your word is part of your brand. Right, so Professor is criticizing Wonderland for not holding their words for buyback. And, we are not at buyback. The buyback price is, 30,000, 40,000. They didn't do the buyback. They didn't honor it. They don't honor it now. The buyback has stopped, according to Danny. Rage quitting is a solution to allow those investors that have been with the protocol for some time to exit with their share of the treasury without the need for buyback. How does that work? But it essentially achieves a similar thing. Some are tired from all the drama and has ensured in the last week that are emotionally drained, including me. I really want to stop talking about Wonderland and all this drama, but it's just like every day there was drama. It was very draining, even to Danny too, and want a fresh start. In 1 week, we have a liquidation scandal, a failed merger proposal, Sifu Gate, and 2 snapshot votes, and a third on the way. It has been one of the worst weeks ever. It is only fair to those people to give them that option, especially since buybacks were promised. To not allow it will be short-sighted and eventually be the death of the protocol. In the long term, we will gain trust among the community, and once Wonderland is flourishing once again, those same people will likely be future investors. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, if you can let people rage quit now, and as long as you honor the word, people will still somehow believe you, and they might come back in the future. Good point, Professor. Some people are looking at this situation as a zero-sum game. Your side can only be benefit on the equal detriment on the other side. Both sides will be unwilling to make any concession on both sides will be forced to deal with the poor consequence of not reaching an agreement. This is the true 3-3. It's funny what 3-3 is now. This is the true 3-3 if you look at it. The game theory. This is a lose-lose outcome. A win-win outcome will be a compromise in reaching a fair middle ground where both parties gain something and also give up something. I think that's a great point. Remember, guys, in the very beginning, when you invested in this, you read the document. It's like, 3-3-9-9. So if you look at it, we only win when everybody stays in and don't withdraw. And we all lose if everybody withdraws. This is the same situation. We win if we cooperate and come up with a compromise about the future of Wonderland. But if we never agree on what to do in the future, we are gonna lose. We are gonna lose. So that's a very underrated article here from the professor. So good for you. But Professor, is it not fair that those people that are allowed to raid the treasury consider I have been holding since the genesis of this protocol? This is a very common question. It's like, if for the people who never sold a single W memo or time during this whole drop, they're like, how is it fair if you let other people who got in and out, or who people already sold, who get the benefit, right? That's a good question. That's one of the big questions. I hear you, but there's a solution for both sides if managed correctly. Here's my recommendation. All right, let's hear it from the professor. Shut down all trading and remove LP liquidity effective immediately. Did that already happen? Are we still providing LP? This will eliminate many of the worries from some frogs about whales and sharks that are currently not invested, who try to game the system by seeing which way the vote goes and buying in the last second to arbitrage. Don't worry about those that bought in the opportunity after Sifu Gate and are not still holding, as many have exited the position in the run-up in the vote ending anyway, giving the certainty. Okay, so I think he's talking about shutting down Sushi's liquidity. So we basically put a pause on all trading or W memo. You cannot buy or sell on any exchange, and by removing the liquidity, because Wonderland still owns majority of the liquidity on Sushi, he wants to stop that so the whales cannot trade based on the decision of the DAO to manipulate it. That's a good point. I mean, I kind of agree with that. Have the Wonderland team provide a clear calculation around the backing per W memo that rage quitters will receive. In the calculation, they should provide the total circulating supply of W memo, the DAO owned supply in W memo, non-DAO owned circulating supply, the total asset and treasury value including single-sided asset, striped LPs, and BSGG airdrop. When but not including the BSGG vested tokens. Cross of ages allocation. Oh yeah, anybody remember this game? WMMO equals treasury value divided by non-DAO supply. So BSGG airdrop was equal to 500 million BSGG, which equates to 23.85 of the total owed BSGG by the DAO. The total BSGG asset value is approximately $90 million, which means that rage quitters will lose access to this much. Allow a 48-hour window for rage quitter to claim. Airdrop all BSGG tokens to everyone during the 48 hours. Oh, I like that, please. Once the rage quit swap has been concluded, shut down the LP and trading for another 2-3 weeks until new management is appointed to take over. The path forward is clear. For those that decided not to rage quit, there should be an APY multiplier during these few weeks where the reward wheel is increased this much. That's a very nice proposal. Guys, I'm liking the professor more and more as I read this. This is the first time I read all of this. Prior to reopening the LP, the DAO will burn all WMemo token from the rage quit swap and any other DAO-owned token management see fit to decrease the circulating supply and have an effect in lifting the price above backing. Now this is, so all of these things right here, right? I can see from the reaction where like people read this, I think your first reaction would be, oh, then why would I rage quit? I'm not even gonna rage quit. If you stay in and you get all of these benefits, why would I rage quit? That's a good point. I think that will be one of the biggest questions that people will ask themselves, right? I'm not gonna rage quit. I don't want to rage quit if we get all of this. Now, you cannot say that for everyone because rage quit is, the word rage quit is you're like, I'm done. I don't want to do any of this. I don't care about all of these benefits. I just want out, and I don't want to think about Wonderland again. That's the rage quit. You know, that's what some people want to do. Some. Thank you, Danielle Villani. We're not simping. I'm not simping for the professor. Do I sound like I'm simping for the professor? All right. So basically, the true backing price excludes BSGG vested tokens, which means that your treasury value for rage quitter decreases, and those that remain see an uplift in the backing. The APY multiplier is only available for those that remain in the protocol. It allows you to turbocharge a percentage of treasury before anyone can buy back in once and the LP opens. Trust is maintained by protocols in which investors can exit, which will most likely lead to future investment from them. Wonderland's back on track. Should we ever decide to allow bonding in the future to increase the size of the treasury, those that choose not to rage quit can give preferential term to access to bonding pool before public. Again, I'm worried that this proposal is a bit one-sided for people who don't want to rage quit, and I think that might be by design, is that you don't want people to rage quit. Should we pass all of this, most people will not want to rage quit anymore, so people will just stay in. And it's a pretty genius solution, I gotta say. Right now, we need to a shot to immediate adrenaline to kickstart the project back to where it was a month ago. If we don't decide on this lingering issue in the coming few days, we will go around in circles indefinitely with divided community. Yeah, that's true. There's no action. I haven't seen any tweets from Danny for the past few days since the AMN. He's taking some time off, but people we need to get this forward. So how do we do it after the rage quit is done? Once the rage quit solution has been put to bed, I believe that we need to take a breather and bring on new management with a particular focus on COO and CFO position. I have read the Wonderland 2.0 proposal, and while this does bring up some good suggestions, I believe the governance structure is too cumbersome and will not allow the protocol to reach its full potential. Oh, so the professor wasn't the one who wrote the Wonderland 2.0 proposal. Okay, my bad for getting them confused. I remember now. Wonderland 2.0 is another account on Medium. They had their own proposal. That's the one I like. So, Professor is saying that proposal, wow, it's good, has good suggestions, but it's too cumbersome. So why? Having the DAO set strategies will bring mayhem, in my opinion. Yeah, you don't want to have the DAO do all the different strategies, vote on every strategy, because investments are time sensitive. You have to be there at a certain time. You don't want to wait like a couple of days or weeks for people to decide if it's a good opportunity. Everyone has different views on investments and farming opportunities, and this should be left to management. I agree. I think the model we had before it works. To be like, let Sifu decide, because he was the one we voted to be the managing the money. You don't want to vote on every management decision, right? That'll be too slow. If you were invested in a hedge fund, would you expect investors to be allowed to set strategies for the fund? I believe that the DAO and the community should act as a collective conscious and make suggestions to dedicated portal for investment and farming opportunities, as I highlighted in my last article. This collective can be one of our largest strengths and allow us to use our community to hunt investment opportunity and achieve. This is great. I like it. So you have a fund manager, and they can still make decisions without going to the DAO, because we elected them, we trust in them and their ability to pick investments, kind of like what Sifu was doing. But what he's suggesting here is we want to add another vertical to this to allow for the community to pitch different farming opportunity ideas. You know, like the tomb, phantom farm, you know, like, or something really risky, something low risk or something high risk. So let the community pitch ideas, but it's up to the fund manager to decide on how to do with that money. I like it. In my experience, an oversight committee is not needed. I have dealt with fund administrators whose role is to oversee regulated funds many times in my past, and they only hamper fluency and efficiency. The management team should be able to execute as they need to. Again, autonomy of the management team. I like it. Having a G memo and W share token is too complicated for most investors. Yeah, I don't. This is like the old model. If W memo wasn't well received, this will only add confusion. I believe that one token with monthly airdrops in MIM is all we need. I believe the DAO should vote on whether we transition to a new token or stick with time memo or W memo. I think moving back to time memos for now should be least confusion to most. I like it. That's the thing with this whole W memo and memo thing. Like, just stay with time and memo. I don't need another coin. Time was so easy to understand. You don't need to explain to people. When you have to explain to people in the video what a token is, that's bad. Like, what's a W memo? Should we wrap? Like, all these confusions will just lead newbie investors out. And currently, the price of W memo is $23,000. That will, even though people can buy this at a fraction, that I suspect that this will turn a lot of people away from this token, because like, you don't really want to buy something that's $23,000, right? Like, compared to the price of time, which is $343. Now, this, if you see that on exchange, if you're a newbie, you'll be like, oh, I can afford $343. Let me buy some time, right? I think we should go back to time or memo, and I think that's I think a lot of people like that, going back to time and memo. Get rid of that confusion. That whole thing started to get a lot confusing when we switched to W memo and prices continue to drop. I agree that we should eventually transition to a fixed supply with zero rebasing. Yeah, rebase is an illusion. However, perhaps we give a period of 3 months for this transition and gradually cascade the APY during the 2-3 week transition period mentioned above. I believe management should come up with a fixed supplier token and how the APY will gradually decrease each week. That way it's clear to all. During the transition period, I believe the DAO should only vote on the following aspect to limit confusion. APY aspects. So consider eliminating rebases immediately, gradually eliminating. So yeah, I think we're at the period of beyond the Ponzi-nomics. We don't need we kind of need new funds, but we want to let people know that rebases is an illusion and it's delusion. Confirming that they are in favor of fixed supply of tokens. I think WMemo is fixed, but for time token, we definitely need to make it fixed. When you got limited supply, the price will not slowly dilute. Transition to a new token and contract, or keeping time memo for WMemo or WMemo. I don't know about this new token, but we want to keep the name, I guess, even though the name is tarnished. Yeah, maybe change the name to some other token. Hiring a core positions to be filled. Yeah. Danielle and the team will be back to their raging best soon, and all of this drama will be a distant memory. But to get there and fulfill our true potential, we need to vote on the rage quit option as a matter of urgency. As highlighted above, those rage quitting will get the short end of the stick. Yeah, so he knows. What I just brought up, but I knew it. If managed correctly. And those left in the protocol will actually have a higher backing price with more token to their name while trading resumes. I believe this is a fair outcome to all. For those that would like to discuss further, I'll make myself available on Discord. So that is the professor's proposal. What do you guys think of it? I kind of like it. The professor did hit like multiple things. I definitely agree with a lot of points he set out. And you gotta do something to get people out. You know, like people wants to get out, fine. Let them out. Give them some money from the treasury. Be out. Be done. But the people who stay, they would get the reward for it. So I highly recommend you guys to go to this forum and voice your opinion. Voice your opinion, because this is something we need to do to go forward. It's a very time sensitive thing, I think. Like right now, we are sort of just dead, not doing much. And I think with all those things that Professor laid out, like it definitely will fix the issues that we currently see. And it is something. Now, will the whales stand back and just watch the whales, watch you guys do this and recover? I mean, to some aspect, the whales definitely like to see new blood in this so they can feast on us even more, right? But for us long-term investors, what was promised to us was revenue share from the treasury. We never got that. And we never got the airdrop. So like things like that, you gotta keep your promise and definitely look into it. Now what I didn't like was that some of the core members proposed to just dissolve the whole thing. I think the last thing we want is just dissolve it and just split the treasury to everyone equally. It's not fair to people who held to do this whole thing. So yeah, I think this is the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. We have very smart people who are giving us proposals like that. Like this is what I like to see. Instead of people complaining about what's going on in Wonderland, I like to see solutions. And these are great solutions. This one and Wonderland 2.0, which we'll go over in another video, are great solutions, I think, that will benefit us. So I highly recommend you guys go read this and voice your opinion on the forum, because this is very important. I am still in it. Of course I am still in it. I didn't sell a single WMemo. I didn't sell a single time. I'm still in it, and I like to see this project turn around. If you look at it from what we did awesome stuff. We achieved awesome stuff through this DAO. We did. And I believe when you pull all the money together, over $1 billion, we're bigger than any whale. We're giant. We're actually a giant whale, and this is what a whale can do. So I am optimistic. I know you guys are gonna make fun of me for it. I am in the acceptance stage, and I'm trying to be optimistic about the future. So yeah, I hope you guys are too, because this is, I mean, all this like name calling, all the memes, all the seafood gang, all the Danny hates, they all need to stop right now. I'm not defending, again, you know me, I'm not defending any of these people. I just want to move forward. I want to see solutions. I want to see actions taken to fix this problem. I'm a problem solver my whole life. I like to see problems fixed. I don't want to complain. I don't like to be complaining all the time. So I think this is great move by the community. Great job, Professor. Great job, Wonderland 2.0. We will go over it. And now it's up to us. The Frog Nation. No, I'm not laughing at the frogs. I think it's so fun. And this is at the very least, this is a very important life lesson for all of us. So take that what you lost, take what you lost as a tuition for this very, very valuable lesson. You won't learn this in college. You won't learn this in anywhere else. You only learn this through the loss. So I think we should look into it. Wow, look at the time. Unfortunately, I have to go to work again. This sucks. Did I ever solve the ladies' toilet? No. I don't want to deal with a toilet. Yeah, so yeah, there are news. Let me read some comments because I look at. Thank you guys for coming, by the way. People learning that Sifu left Quadriga 2 years before his ex-partner died. Yeah, so I don't think Sifu was really involved in the partner's death. I know people are insinuating that he's involved, but I don't think so. And also, was there any evidence that Sifu actually took the fund from the fund in Quadriga directly to his wallet? If you have evidence, let me know. Oh, Sifu was being sarcastic. Harry Yu is a too many screenshots of him on Discord making mom jokes on anyone that criticizes his project. I'll not look like I say, I don't know the guy, but the guy seems like a, I'm sorry, Harry, but the guy looks like a douche. There, I said it. There, I said it. Look, I'm not attacking his appearance, but I'm just saying, like, he's a very confident guy, you know. But you know, finding anyone, I don't even know who's qualified to be a treasury manager. He's not. Well, he's done something. I don't know. He's a public figure. Check. He's doxed. Checked. He's like experienced managing large fund. Checked. But what is his motive, right? So, like I mentioned, always be skeptical of these guys. Yeah, the Quadriga fund. Like, if they found it for Sifu, right? If they found his wallet and Quadriga fund, and the fact that did he actually took out all those $100 million from the customer into his own wallet, if there is a hard evidence of that, I would like to see it. So, you know, no, Harry's not the professor, JF. Harry's another guy. But anyway, I want you guys to do a research. Be active on the forum. Let your voice heard, because we are determining our future right now. We don't have a leader. Danny's sleeping. Sifu's gone. We have to take matters into our own hands. We have to support each other, come up with solutions. I believe the Frog Nation is super smart. You guys are very, very smart. So I think we should all come up with something and try to rescue this project. I do want to see this project succeed again. I don't want to see this project go down. It's a very good idea. We succeeded in raising a ton of fund, and we were able to make use of the fund and make money for everyone. We just need to learn how to distribute it, how to continue the project, and do good for its future, and help all the investors. And with that said, that is it for today's session. I thank you guys for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. Please share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I enjoy spending my morning with you guys before I go to work. And as always, have a great day, guys.